Hello class 9 students, welcome to my class. I am Momita and today we shall be doing the story The Last Leaf written by O. Henry. Now this is a beautiful story about two girls, Sue and Johnsy, and the real hero of the story, Mr. Burman. Now the last leaf, in the story The Last Leaf, we find that the two girls, Sue and Johnsy, both of them were artists, and one of them, Johnsy, she falls ill. She falls sick of pneumonia, right? It was winter and pneumonia had been striking hard everyone, and Johnsy fell one of its victims. Now, Mr. Burman was also an artist. All of them stayed in the artist quarter, right, where all the artists lived. And Mr. Burman lived in the flat just below them, right. And Mr. Burman protected and loved these two girls, perhaps like his own daughter, right. So when now there was a problem with Johnsy. Johnsy had left the desire to live. She had been lying sick for a few days, and there was a kind of illusion in her, a kind of depression walking in her, which made her think that when all the leaves of the ivy vine, which she could see from her window, when all the leaves of that ivy vine would fall, she would also die. With the fall of the last leaf, her life will also sail away. When Burman came to know that, he was irritated and disturbed. Now, in order to save Johnsy, he sacrificed his own life. What he did is, outside when it was raining, it was extremely cold. At night, without everyone's notice, he drew a false leaf and attached it with the ivy vine, so that it does not fall. Now Burman always wanted to draw a masterpiece. He was a drunkard and he could never draw anything worthy. Most of the time he acted as a model for which he got paid, right? But he always talked of drawing a masterpiece. At the end, he definitely drew a masterpiece, which was The Last Leaf, and which saved the life of a dying girl. Now, this might not be his masterpiece might not be very costly, might not earn him a lot of reputation and money, but definitely it did something greater, something bigger. It saved the life of a girl. So he sacrificed his own life painting a leaf, and that leaf saved the life of poor Johnsy. Now let us start reading the story, The Last Leaf. Sue and Johnsy, two young artists, shared a small flat. The flat was on the third story of an old house. Johnsy fell very seriously ill in November. She had pneumonia. She would lie in her bed without moving. She was sick, she won't move. She would lie on her bed without moving, just gazing out of the window. Gazing means looking out of the window. Sue, her friend, became very worried. Now, Sue was very worried. She sent for the doctor. Although he came every day, there was no change in Johnsy's condition. Now, though the doctor would come every day, there was no change in the condition of Johnsy, right? Because Johnsy was already suffering from depression. She had a false belief that she is going to die with the fall of the last leaf. One day, the doctor took Sue aside and asked her, "Is anything worrying Johnsy?" "No," replied Sue. "But why do you ask?" The doctor said, "Johnsy, it seems, has made up her mind that she is not going to get well. If she does not want to live, medicines will not help." Now, as we all know that desire to live, willpower is our greatest medicine. Now, when you lose your willpower, when you lose your desire to live, it's very difficult for medicine alone to revive you. So the same thing was happening with Johnsy. Johnsy, it seems that she had lost her desire to live, as a result of which she was becoming ill every day. With every passing day, she was becoming ill, and medicine did not seem to work. Sue tried her best to make Johnsy take an interest in things around her. She talked about clothes and fashion, but Johnsy did not respond. Johnsy continued to lie still on her bed. Sue brought her drawing board into John. Now, since she was lonely, Sue realized that perhaps she was suffering from depression. So she brought all her drawing boards there. Sue brought her drawing boards into Johnsy's room and started painting. To take Johnsy's mind off her illness, she whistled while walking to make the mood light. She would whistle and she would try talking with her. Suddenly, Sue heard Johnsy whispering something. She quickly rushed to her bed and heard Johnsy counting backward. She was looking out of the window and was saying 12. After some time, she whispered 11, then 10, then 9, 8, 7. Sue anxiously looked out of the window. She saw an old ivy creeper climbing halfway up the brick opposite wall opposite their window. In the strong wind outside, the creeper was shedding its leaves. Now, Johnsy was whispering something. Sue rushed to her and found that she was back counting. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, like this. And when she saw outside, she could not see anything apart from an old ivy vine which had climbed on the opposite wall. And the creeper was actually shedding its leaves because it was winter. "What is it, dear?" Sue asked. 6, whispered Johnsy. "They're falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves. There were only 5 left now." "It was autumn," said Sue, "and the leaves will fall." When she said that it's autumn, it's quite obvious that the leaves are going to fall. "When the last leaf falls, I will die," said Johnsy with finality. With finality in her tone, she said that when the last leaf will fall, she is also going to die. "I have known this for the last 3 days." So all throughout these 3 days, these things were in her brain. She was constantly thinking that when the last leaf will fall, I'm also going to die. When the last leaf will fall, I'm also going to die. "Oh, I have known this for the last 3 days." "Oh, that's nonsense," replied Sue. What have old ivy leaves to do with you getting well? The doctor is confident that you will get better." Johnsy did not say anything. She went and brought her a bowl of soup. "I don't want any soup," said Johnsy. "I'm not hungry. Now there are only 4 leaves left." Now all her attention is centered in those leaves. "I want to see the last one fall before it gets dark. Then I'll sleep forever." Now, she said that she wants to see the last leaf fall before she goes to sleep. And that would be her last sleep. Sue sat on Johnsy's bed, kissed her and said, "You are not going to die. I can't draw the curtain. I can't draw the curtain for I need the light." She said that she cannot draw the curtain because she needed the light. And if she looks outside, she'll be thinking all these rubbish things. "I want to finish the painting and get some money for us. Please, my dear." She was a very loving friend, right? She said that she has to earn money for both of them. And she wanted light for that. She begged Johnsy, "Promise not to look out of the window while I paint." She said that you must promise me that you are not going to look out while I'm painting. "All right," said Johnsy. "Finish your painting soon, for I want to see the last leaf fall. I'm tired of waiting. I have to die. So let me go away peacefully, like one of those poor, tired leaves." She compared her life with those leaves. She said that let me also die like those poor, tired leaves. Also, I want to die. "Try to sleep," said Sue. "I have to paint an old miner. I will call Berman up to be my model." So now we have the entrance of another character, Berman. She has to call Berman because he's going to dress like a miner, and she's going to paint it. Sue rushed down. Berman lived on the ground floor. He was 60 years old painter. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece, but that had always remained a dream because he was not been able to paint anything worthy. Sue poured out her worries to Berman. She said everything to Berman, what was happening. She told him how Johnsy was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fall. Is she stupid?" said Berman. "How can she be so foolish? She's running a high temperature," complained Sue. She refuses to eat and drink, and that worries me a lot. Now, Berman said that it is stupid. Now, she also said that he has stopped eating or drinking. She has stopped eating and drinking, and that is worrying her a lot. I will come with you and see Johnsy, Berman said. They tiptoed into the room. Johnsy was sleeping. Sue drew the curtain together, and they went to the next room. She peeped through the window. There was only one leaf on the creeper. On the creeper, there was only one leaf left. And when Berman came, there was only one leaf left. And she drew the window. It was raining heavily and an icy cold wind was blowing. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now. Any time the leaf would fall. Berman did not say a word. He went back to his room. Johnsy woke up next morning. So after that model was painted, Berman went back to his room without saying anything, without uttering anything. Berman did not say a word. He went back to his room. Johnsy woke up next morning. In a feeble voice, she said, "Sue, to draw the curtains." Sue was nervous. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. As soon as she woke up early in the morning, she asked Sue to draw the curtain. She wanted to see outside. Sue was very nervous, but she couldn't do anything. She was helpless. Nervously, she drew the curtain. "Oh," Sue exclaimed as she looked at the vine creeper. "Look, there is still one leaf." Now, she had thought that after the incessant and hard rain, the leaf would definitely fall, but it was still there. Now, she said, "See, you said that the leaf is going to fall. It's still there. It has not yet fallen. It looks quite green and healthy. In spite of the storm and the fierce wind, it did not fall." "I heard the wind last night," said Johnsy. "I thought it would have fallen. It will surely fall today, then I'll die." Still, she is saying the same thing. She said that today, if it had not fallen yesterday, then what? Today, it's surely going to fall. "I heard," okay, you won't die," she said Sue energetically. "You have to live for your friend. What would happen to me if you die?" Johnsy smiled weakly and closed her eye. After every hour or so, she would look out of the window and find the last leaf still there. She would keep watch outside. But every time she would see outside, she would see the healthy green leaf was still there. In the evening, there was another storm, but the leaf did not fall. Johnsy lay for a long time looking at the leaf. Then she called out to Sue, "I've been a bad girl." Now she realized that it was not good. When she saw that the leaf was not falling, her ideas, her illusion was rather she came out of her illusion rather. She said that she had been a bad girl, and it was wicked to think like that, right? "I have been a bad girl. You have looked after me so lovingly and have not cooperated with you. I have been depressed and gloomy. The last leaf has shown me how wicked I have been. I have realized that it is a sin to want to die." Now she realized, she said that it is a sin to wish to die. She hugged Johnsy. Then she gave her lots of hot soup and a mirror. Johnsy combed her hair and smiled brightly. So the wish, the desire to live returned to her. Sue hugged Johnsy. Then she gave her, In the afternoon, the doctor came. After examining his patient, he told Sue, "Johnsy now has the will to live. I am confident she'll recover soon. Now I must go downstairs and see Berman. He is also suffering from pneumonia, but I am afraid there is no hope for him." And I said that Johnsey's chances of getting better has become good. She will recover. The doctor was quite sure about that. But then he broke the news about Berman's sickness and said that for Berman there is no hope. The next morning, Sue came and sat on Johnsy's bed. Taking Johnsy's hands in her, she said, "I have something to tell you. Mr. Berman died of pneumonia this morning. He was ill for only 2 days, so he did not get much time. He was ill only for 2 days and then he succumbed to death. The first day, the janitor found him on his bed. His clothes and shoes were wet and he was shivering. He had been out in that stormy night." So he said that he had been out in that stormy night and the janitor, that is the doorkeeper, found him wet, lying on the bed wet. They had found the ladder and the lantern still lying near his bed. Somehow he went out and remember that night when Berman came, it rained incessantly. There was a bad storm. In that bad storm and rain, in that chilly cold, he had gone out. He had drenched himself completely, and then he could no longer keep himself in proper condition. So he lay down on his bed. The lantern was still lighting, and they found the ladder and the lantern still lighted lying near his bed. With his lantern, he had gone out, and they found the ladder. He had taken the ladder. He climbed on the ladder and had attached that leaf. There were also some brushes and green and yellow paints on the floor near the ladder. "Johnsy dear," said Sue, "look out of the window. Look at that ivy leaf. Haven't you wondered why it doesn't flutter when the wind blows?" So when the wind blows, it doesn't flutter. So she asked her why she did not wonder why it doesn't flutter. That's Berman's masterpiece. He painted it the night the last leaf fell. So this is the story. So this was the masterpiece created by Berman, who sacrificed his life in order to save the life of the young girl, Johnsy. I hope you enjoyed the story a lot. It was quite interesting. Even it is one of my favorite stories. Thank you for attending the class. Goodbye.